morning, everybody. Today we're going to do just a few things to wake up the body and possibly, hopefully, bring our mind to focus on our breath and be at peace for a few moments with ourselves. Thinking about that, I love this block from Lulu because it says the conscious brain can only hold one thought at a time. Choose a positive thought. So let's do that this morning. Let's choose some positive thoughts. So we'll start in a seated position, and if you have a block or a book or anything that might prop you up and might help you through your practice, please feel free to grab it. And if there's anything I'm doing through the practice and your body is asking you or urging you to do something else, please do it. Here we go. So if you have a block or something, go ahead and sit up on it. If you're comfortable on the ground, you can do that as well. Let your hands rest on your knees. Just notice the ease or the challenge in which your eyes are closing. Allow the forehead to relax. The space between your eyebrows to relax. Your cheekbones to relax. Allowing some space between your teeth and your lips to be softly resting with one another. Just notice the way that the air in the room, the air outside, wherever you are, is meeting your skin. The touch of it on your body. Narrow in the focus a little more to recognize the touch of your breath. Feel it on the space right beneath the nose and above the rim of the top lip. In that space, you might notice the power or the strength of the breath stroke against the skin. You might notice a temperature, one that's very specific to either the in or the out breath. Slowly let your eyes flutter open to the tip of your nose and all the way open to the light. And find your breath moving in and out of the body. See if you can begin to assist it. Help it to move in and out of your body. It's kind of like you're holding its hand, you're drawing it, pulling it in to fill, and then emptying out, pushing it out of the body to let it go. You can even put your hand on your belly, or the thoracic region. so that you can witness, you can feel the filling and the emptying. And if you lose that rhythm through the practice, it's okay. Just come back to it. Find your way back into the breath. Release the hand. You're going to release whatever you might be sitting on. Let your feet come to the ground. If you need the block under you, please keep it. But we're going to take a low squat. So keeping the hips dropping below the knees, down in between the feet. Elbows pressed to the insides of the legs, palms pressing together. Push the palms evenly together so the elbows push out, helping your legs to draw away. At the same time, draw in through the groin and the inner thigh. So kind of pushing the inner thigh against the arms as the arms push the legs out. And your feet can be as wide as your mat, maybe wider if you need to try to bring the heels down. Tail turning towards the ground and the back, imagining that there's a wall behind you that you can lean up against. Top of the head reaching for the sky, navel drawn in and up so that we feel really engaged, opened, and spacious through the torso. And come into the breath again. Patient and calm. The next exhale, release the hands to the ground. Press into your feet. Use the inhale to lift the hips. As you push down through the hands and the feet, lift the hips. Feel free to use a block under the hands if the earth is too far away. Shimmy the hips a little bit. Just feel some movement in your body, waking up into the little tiny spaces maybe we don't get into. Come back into the middle. Look out ahead. Feel as if your torso is being pulled out of your hips. And then rock a little bit forward so that you feel a little bit more weight into the front of your foot. Heels still on the ground, but hips shifting so that they feel a bit more over your ankles. Hold there, in and out through the nose, still breathing. So the whole time we're watching, just observing how our breath patterns change as we move from shape to shape. Hold on to opposite elbows. Give a bend into your knees, a whole bunch if you like, and fold over. Release the head, shake it out. Release the arms through the elbows towards the ground, still holding on, creating a little box with the hands and the arms. Hanging as loosely as you can towards the ground. Exhale, release the hands. Use the inhale to lift back up halfway. Bring the hands back onto the block if you'd like. Find the length again out from the hips. So imagine that your butt is going to touch the wall behind you and your head will reach the wall ahead. Move the arms out so that the wrist, the elbows, and the shoulders, they line up. And walk the right hand over to the center line. Press down through the right hand so you feel a little bit more lift. Lift the left arm out to the side like a wing, and then bend the elbows so that you can bring the left palm to the low back, the sacrum space. Open the hand wide so that you can feel a whole bunch of territory under the hand. From right to left side, noticing if you're shifting or rocking over to one side or the other. Try to move back into the middle. Inhale, look up. Exhale, push down through the hand, and through the pushing down, lift up out of the right shoulder and feel your body already wanting to turn towards the left side. So give in. Use the inhale, get a little longer. And every exhale, see if you can spin open just a bit more. Imagining that the shoulders will stack and the chest would open to the left side of the room. Just moving in that direction. Doesn't mean that we're going to get there today, it just means that we're moving there. When you get into your space, stop and breathe. Use the next exhale, lift the left arm up towards the sky, palm open towards the direction that you're turning. And then rotate through the arm so the palm faces the direction that the head is facing. Exhale, lower the arm down towards the ear. Stretch it out over the head as long as you can. And then inhale back up. Rotate so the palm faces out again. Exhale, turn the palm lower down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, lower down. This time I'm going to lower all the way back down to the earth through the block. Resettle through the middle. Looking up, lengthen through the spine. Rock the weight forward. Left hand shimmies towards the center. Inhale, reach the right arm out. So when you reach it out, don't just lift it, but really stretch through it. Feel it coming from your left shoulder across the chest, held through the right fingertips. Bend the elbow, bring the palm to the low back, sacrum space, even to the glutes if you want to feel from side to side. If you're rocking over to the right, shift, push to the left. Inhale, look up. Exhale, push down through the left arm. Lift up out of the ground. Start to spin towards the right side of the room. When you find the spot when your body stops naturally, just breathe there. Pushing down through hands and feet. The next inhale, reach the right arm up, palm facing the direction that you're opening up to. Rotate the arm now so that the palm faces the head and lower down over the head, over the ear. From right to arm, left arm, you might find the movement is very different. Inhale, take it back up. Totally normal. Rotate the arm, lower down. Inhale, take it up. One more time. This time we're going to bring it all the way back down to the ground. And release the head and neck. Walk the hands back, release, shake it out a little bit. Inhale, looking up halfway. Toe heel the feet in, maybe one time to start. We're going to take the left leg and slide it back. Slide it back as far as you can so that the hips have space to lower. Now if you notice that they're lowering, glute lowers below the knee, then you want to give some effort to lifting up. But if they're piked up, then you might need some more space between the legs or just a little more effort to drop down. Fingers on the inside of the front foot, propped up on the fingertips, up on the palms, or even on your blocks on any dimensions. Lifting up the chest as high as you can. Reach up to the crown, almost creating a little back bend in the spine. Tail pulling back towards the heel, crown pulling up to the sky, shoulders rolling back. So if you want to even try to play here and see what it feels like to drop down and then roll the shoulders back to lift up higher, you can play there. And in this position today, we're going to keep the ball of the foot down. My legs, like many of you, like to roll out. So neither's right or wrong, they both serve a purpose, but for today we're just going to push down on the ball of the front foot, keep the leg drawn in, push it in towards the arm and let the arm help push it out. You're going to feel a little bit more around the hip and glute space. Breathing here. Trying to make the breath smooth and steady, the inhale and the exhale matching. In length, in power. The next exhale, release your back knee down to the ground. Push off the ground a little bit more with the hands and reach up to the crown. Lean and sink forward into the front leg. So the knee is going to pass the ankle. Might even come close to being over the toes. Don't worry. This happens a lot throughout our natural day when we climb stairs, when we sit down sometimes. It's natural movement in the body. And here you might be feeling it in the back leg, in the hip flexor, and around the leg in the front. So glute, hips, all the way around. You might feel it in the hamstring. Some of you might get it up into the top part of the quad. And release the hands. Shift back enough that you can bring the front heel to the ground, and then we're going to slide it back behind us. So reach it back, hands come all the way down to the ground, and keep it lifted up off the earth. Hold it here. So if you notice, you might feel that your hip is peeking open to the side. Flex your foot and rotate through the legs so that the toes turn down. This is going to help the knee to point down, which is also going to then help the hip point down and keep you level across the back. Push back through the heel. Next, inhale, reach up with your left arm if you choose. Draw the navel in and up. Feel any major arch in the spine. Come out, just natural curvatures through the body, in and out through the nose. Find something on the ground to gaze at. That means softly look, not stare hard. Give the effort to the breath. Move it in and out of the body. Just a few more. The next exhale, we're going to crunch. Round your back. Dome it. Bring the elbow and the knee to touch. Maybe pass each other. Curl up into a little ball. And whatever's on the ground, your hand and your leg, keep pushing deeply into the ground. Inhale, lengthen out. Release your left hand to the ground. Release your right toes to the floor. Keep them curled under. Push the heel back, past the ankle, past the toes. And then inhale, rock forward. Push on the balls of the feet. Bring the ankle and the heel forward. Move past your wrist. Feel even a stretch up through your forearms. Exhale, push back. Inhale, come forward. Inhale, push back enough that the shoulders meet the space over the wrist. And release the right knee down. So we're going to slide the right knee forward. Bring it right behind the right wrist. Then you can use your left hand, get a hold of the foot, maybe through the heel, and drag it forward. You're going to listen to your body and move it only as much as your body is in agreement to at the moment. Stop and breathe there, and then see maybe if it'll give a little more. Take the heel of the hand and place it into the ball of the foot. Press down. Hold it in place. Right hand presses down into the ground. Curl your left toes under and walk the foot back so that the leg can lengthen behind you. You're going to feel a little bit of a pull through the right glute here. Release the top of the left foot to the ground. Release the front foot. Reach up with the heart. Open up the chest. Take a few breaths here just to recognize the space that you're sitting in. And walk it out. So some of you might stay up on your hands. Some of you might move down to forearms. Some of you might use blocks. It's all good. Just release into the space that works best for you. Where any more would be too much, but any less would be not enough. Inhale, look and lift up. Bring the hands back into the ground. Curl your back toes under. Press into your hands, press into your back foot. Lift the knee. Engage the core. And draw your right leg back to meet left. Toes together, heels together. Push off the ground into plank. Eyes on the tip of your nose. Let's hold it here. In and out through the nose with effort in your breathing. Keep your feet glued together. Move your left hand to the center line. Let's roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Always an option to cross your top foot over. Bring your bottom knee down. Bring both knees down. All right? Keep them stacked if you can. Pick up the top arm. You can pick up the top leg if you want. Release the foot if it's up. Release the hand back into plank. Let's hold for another 5 rounds. Separate the feet so they're about 2 fists distance from each other. Push on the balls of the feet. Shift forward a little bit. We're going to take 5 yoga push-ups. You're more than welcome to bring the knees down. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back up. Bring the knees down. Big toes touch. Open the knees wide like your mat and sink your hips back. Release the arms. Walk them out. Walk your torso out of your hips. Shift your hips back and release. Inhale, looking up, walking back up onto your hands. Curl your back toes under. Hover your knees above the ground. Shoulders over your wrists. Knees and hips stacked. Just slightly lifted up off the ground. Shoulders roll back, open up the chest. Eyes to the tip of your nose. Just building a little more heat. Exhale, release the knees. Good. Walking up onto your fingers. If you need to bring a block under your hands, you're more than welcome to again. You're gonna make some space so that you can bring your left foot forward. So as many steps or as few as it takes. Bring the left foot all the way to the top of the mat. Pressing down into the earth or your block. Extend the back leg, kick through the heel. Engage the muscles so the knee lifts up off the ground. Again, notice if your hips are piked. Maybe you need more space between the legs. Notice if your legs are dripping, if the glutes dripping below the knee. Lift up a little higher. Keeping engaged to the quad, through the calf, through the heel, and pressing down into your left big toe mound this time. Keeping it from rolling out. So you're just gonna press it down and in. Opening the chest, pulling forward through the heart. Rising up on fingertips if that feels better. If you can get a little more space anywhere in your body, do that. In and out through the nose. Be in and with your breath. Next, exhale, we're going to bring the back knee down to the ground. Rise up on the fingertips again, shift forward. So take the weight and draw it into the front leg. Let it move ahead. You're going to feel it in the hip crease. You might feel a little pinch in the hip crease. Release the back toes to the ground. Open up the chest. Roll the shoulders back. Shifting back enough now. Exhale to shift back enough that you can bring the front heel to the ground. Making space to then slide it back behind it. Keep the leg lifted up off the ground. And notice again if the hip is turned out, if the arch of the foot is facing the ground, then rotate through the leg so the toes point down. Kick through your heel like the sole of the foot is trying to keep the wall behind you away. Push the earth away, shoulders roll back. Eyes on the tip of the nose, drawing the belly in. So if you feel like your belly's dropping down like a hammock, just pull up and in. Reaching out with the right arm if you'd like. Whatever you did on the other side, do it here now. Noticing if the shoulders start to curl in towards each other. Keep the chest wide. Lots of space for the breath to move. One more round. A breath. Next, exhale, we're curling and rounding, elbow to knee. Maybe they pass each other round the back. Pull into a very arched, rounded spine, just like a cat. Inhale, lengthen out. Releasing right hand to the ground. Sorry, keep the right knee in. Keep it in. Hover it and draw it up towards the front arm and slide the knee down to the ground. Taking the right hand now and walking, sliding that left foot forward. So we're going to take the heel of the hand, dig it into the ball of the foot. Allows the foot to stay in place while maybe you can adjust the knee positioning. Curl your right toes, slide the leg as far back as it'll go for you. Release the top of the foot, release the front hand. Open up the chest. Take a few moments to breathe, to recognize the space that you've moved into. Next, exhale. Move down to your space, wherever the position might be. I like to call it your entry point, because wherever you begin is not where you end up. If you notice through your rounds of breaths, things change over time. Space might become more comfortable, more familiar. You might notice that there's more space and you can move in a little bit more with confidence. Inhale, slowly looking up, coming back onto your hands. Curl your back toes, engage, push back through the heel so that the knee begins to lift. Press against the earth with your hands to lift away from it. Draw your left heel up and then send it back. Feet meet. Shoulders roll back. Again, always welcome to come to your knees. Let's hold it here. This time, right hand's gonna come to the ground. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Stacking your feet and your legs. Lifting up. Lifting top leg if you choose. Exhale, lower down. Hold it back into the plank. Shifting forward. Push on the balls of the feet. Separate the feet about 2 fist distance. We got another 5 yogi push-ups. Coming up, drop the knees now. Big toes touch, open your knees wide like your mat, and sink your hips back. Inhale, look it up, walk your hands back. Draw your knees back together. Sit down to either side, doesn't matter. Allow your legs to come forward. Kick out through the soles of your feet. Remove any bottom flashes if you're shimming the hips back behind you, but kicking the rest of your legs forward. Nice big inhale. Sit real tall. Push the palms and the shoulders down. Keep kicking the feet. Chin drops, chest lifts. Every part of the body's engaged. If you kicked any more through the heels, the legs might even lift up off the ground at the heel point. Keeping your legs, inhale the arms up, and exhale, reach out across. So lots of people think we're just going down. We're actually going across the body's line. The hips keep sliding back, the chest and the heart are moving across. Across as far as you can go. When you get as far as you can go, the chin drops into the space so that it falls in line with the back of the spine, the neck. And maybe we've created some space to go down. Stay active in the leg. Keep kicking through the heels, shoulders back. Every now and then on an inhale, you might look up, lengthen forward through the chin a little more, pull back through the hips. And through the exhale, drop the chin back in, top of the head, reaching forward. Inhale, look up, see your toes. Exhale, release. Scoot your bottoms forward. Bring your heels closer and closer to your bottoms. Shoulders roll back. Squeeze your legs together. Hands can start under the legs. Heels to the floor to start. Maybe pick the heels up. Maybe open the angle under the knees so the knees and the ankles meet in line. You release the arms. Possibly extend the legs and hold. On the exhale, we're going to lower halfway. Stretch the body long. Roll the back into the ground, but keep the shoulders off the floor. Kick through the soles of the feet. Heels forward. Next inhale, we're going to bring it right back up where we began. Use your arms if you need to. Under the legs. Shoulders back, chest up. Squeeze the legs. So we've got a balancing act here between the hamstrings and the back. We have to form this healthy relationship so they each get a little, give a little, grow a little. Next, exhale, lower down halfway, stretching long. Keep the shoulders off the ground, heels off the ground, kicking as long as you can. All the muscles in your legs so strong. Inhale, right back up. Exhale, lower down again, one last time. Low as you can go without touching the ground, without the shoulders touching. Next exhale, drop it down. Release it all the way down to the ground. Allow your legs to open up wider than your shoulders. Arms to angle out, palms up. Eyes gently closed, and noticing again the ease or the challenge in which they're doing that now. You notice any effort that remains in your breathing, allow it to fade out. Allow it to fade into a natural breath now. Drawing stronger breath in and out of the body. Use the inhale to reach the arms up over the head. Stretch the legs out below. Reaching as long as you can. Draw the knees into the body. Give them a big hug. Rock and roll a little bit side to side, back and forth. Rock and roll over onto your right side or all the way up into seated. Hands resting on your knees. When you arrive to your seat, bring the hands to heart center in prayer. Take a moment to thank yourself. Thank yourself for this time, for the breath and the movement. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. And in your final rest, please feel free to take it for as long as you can until your body feels ready to get up and move again. Until next time.